Well, maybe you wonder why we stop here in the middle of the construction. But there's something interesting, but it's on the other side. It's on this house there. There's a stone plank. It's telling us what kind of guests were staying in there. And there are more examples in town. It's not the only one. In this case, it was Emperor Frederick III, staying there for 1 week in 1474. So while he was visiting Rotenburg, he was staying right there. And you know, for all the people, this was so exciting when the king came to visit, because it was more or less boring in the Middle Ages. There wasn't too much entertainment going on, except an execution once in a while. But when a king was riding on a beautiful horse into the market square, and people could see him with their own eyes, how he was dressed, how his attitude was, and his entourage, all these knights, it was so impressive. People never forgot it for their whole life. It was really special. But there were two sides of the medal. It also was extremely expensive to host a king, because he got a bunch of people. Average crowd with 2 up to 300. And they all moved in with him. And they all wanted the best wine and the best food. Nobody paid a cent. The city had to pay for everything. And in addition, we had to offer valuable gifts and presents to that king as a personal gift for his private use. And he knew it's a rich place. His expectations were high. And we had to fill his pockets until he smiled. And the hard thing was, it happened 30 times. Well, in more than 500 years. But still, it was always hard to make it right. But as the city wasn't poor, we could handle it. And on some occasions, when the king was here, and he was really happy about everything, he granted a new right, a new privilege in return. Only he could do that. And it cost him nothing. It was a piece of paper, but with his seal and signature. That made it valuable. And the highest privilege a city could ever get, we got very early. In 1274, Rotenburg became a free imperial city, a state in a state, with its own city government. So we were free in our decisions. There was no duke, no bishop above this city, just the king. And he didn't care what we were doing. He had his own problems. So this was a free city. It enabled us centuries later to become Protestant, because the town fathers decided it. Great privilege. The highest of all. And there were some others, like we had a High Court of Justice. Also very important. It meant being from Rotenburg, your trial could only be in your hometown. That could save your life. And we had the right to hold a market, to have our own currency, to have our own measures and weights. You know, I don't want to bring up all the details. I just want to say we had a great time until everything went down. But it's still too early for this.